it got to a point where I was just like, this is in 2019. I was like, I want to fall in love with this again because I hate it right now. So I was like, I'm going to take some time off. And I did. I took like a solid...
Do you believe in life after love?
Yeah, dude.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back or welcome to your first episode of Good Sounds, the podcast with Mark and Mink, minus Mark currently. He's not here. But we have a special guest today because this is the podcast where we bring people on, we talk to them about their music history, and generally try not to make fun of them too much, but like kind of play around with it, you know what I mean? So today we have a very special guy. He's, older than me, but not quite older, not much older. We could have went to the same high school, but we didn't. He is a DJ. I know that. He is a videographer, whatever that means. Shorten that. And he's in Buffalo for a quick moment because he had moved from Buffalo to New York City. Please welcome Sean Hickey. Mind Games.
Yo. What's
Welcome
going on?
to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm doing well, man. Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. A bit stressed just because I've been running around all day.
Yeah.
And it is what it is, though, you know?
What can you do?
It's the grind.
Yeah.
The daily grind. How's your grind? How's your day?
Oh, my God. So I'm here for the week, and I got here Wednesday night, and it's just been like nonstop ever since. Like,
Right.
I went and visited some friends at Savoy.
Nice.
Like I got in Wednesday at like 7 o'clock and I went to Savoy at like 9.
Oh,
I was there till like 2 a.m.
Did you even like put bags down or anything? Like, were they still in your car?
I changed my clothes.
You did. Okay. there was a break.
But
A quick snack.
yeah,
Probably.
Of course.
How are the snacks at Savoy?
They do
have any
flatbreads.
snacks?
They do flatbreads, which are pretty good.
Hell yeah.
It's odd because like I've been going there for years. I've known those dudes for a while, and like,
Which we'll get into.
and I didn't even know they had a full kitchen until like 2 years ago.
It's a secret kitchen.
But, yeah.
It's in the back. It's in the underground, but in the back.
Yes.
It's in like the back, but then there's a basement in the back.
Yes.
It's like the down and back.
Down and back, something like that.
Something
yeah.
like that. All right, so you let's take it back. So who explain yourself to the public? How would you introduce yourself to everyone? Because did I hit all the beats with the DJ, videographer? Give me how would you introduce yourself?
See, that's tough because I feel like I don't want to be one of those guys that's like, oh, I wear all these hats.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I hate people that wear too many hats.
Right.
You know? It's like, you look ridiculous.
Right. One or two hats.
One
only.
or two hats max.
Yeah.
But I would just say like, so I'm Sean, also known as Mind Games, and I'm a creative. I think that's just like a general term. But yeah, I DJ, and DJ primarily right now.
Right.
And then also I shoot video.
Nice.
And photo.
So give me your timeline for when DJing started versus when video started, and like how did those like which one did you start with? Which one did you go to?
All right, so the timeline is kind of all over the place.
Gotcha.
But I'll try and keep it concise.
Real quick, and then we'll go all the way back to like what you were listening to as a kid and stuff.
For sure.
So
for sure.
Give me that. Go for it.
Okay, so I technically started as a DJ. Like that was before photo and video.
Right.
But I mean, I can go. Do you want me to go into that story?
Okay, so let's get to it because I'm sure we'll get to it. So there's your little crumb preview of Mind Games' future, I guess, current
timeline,
present, and I guess future if you're looking from the past perspective. But let's go to the beginning with you as a young boy,
lad
in a Buffalo home, I assume.
Okay.
Where in Buffalo?
Tonawanda.
Tonawanda. Shout out North Towns.
Yeah. Shout out North Towns.
It's they're fine, honestly. I live there now. But okay, so you grew up in Tonawanda. What were the music choices of your parents? I know you said your dad is a DJ photographer man, maybe?
Photographer.
Just photographer.
No DJ.
No
yeah,
DJ.
yeah.
But did he have musical influence to you?
Honestly, yes and no.
Okay.
Sorry, Dad. But
Sorry.
No, my
shout out, but also apologies.
Yeah, no, my uncle, his brother, was like, he was the big. So like
Wouldn't that also be your uncle?
Yeah, of course, dude.
Wait, so your uncle's brother?
My uncle, my dad's.
Your dad's brother.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I thought you meant like my uncle's brother.
No. My dad's brother, my uncle. He was like the biggest inspo, like as a young kid. You know, he was just like a music lover. He never like DJ'd or anything, but like he kind of did. Like they would have, he lived in Amherst and they lived in like a raised ranch. And like they would have like house parties and stuff. And like in like the lower portion, like the basement, he had like a receiver with like two like CD players, like two individual separate CD players. And he had them hooked up to different inputs on the receiver. And he had speakers, like a speaker set up upstairs, you know, in like the living room, like dining area, wherever everyone would hang out and they'd have a party. And he would be like in the basement, like on the CD player and like the receiver and like pulling out like mixed CDs that he would burn himself. And like he'd play a track on one CD. And then like have another CD and like the player right underneath it, and then like switch the input on the receiver,
like a little fade. Yeah. That's crazy.
And like, I remember like growing up, I thought that was the coolest fucking thing.
Oh, absolutely. What year was that? Like, what was how old were you? What like, do you know the music of the time that he would have been playing?
This is probably in like, so he played a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
But mostly like rock. He actually liked a lot of like punk. Like he put me on to like the Ramones and like Sex Pistols, all that.
Yeah. Breaking shit.
Yeah. But he also the
parties, I'm sure.
Yeah. He wasn't a DJ, but I almost consider him one because although he liked like punk and like he had a very distinct music taste, he entertained in the sense where like if he was having a party, he played to the people.
Right.
You know what I mean? He played what people wanted to hear too.
100%. It's all a balance of like finding like what you could provide to this environment and like riding the wave of like what people are already wanting to hear. So it's all, I think that's like the best DJ sets are like when they hit that balance of like they're like showing people some shit that's like, isn't this crazy? And they're like, this is crazy. Yeah. So it's like that perfect song or perfect switch.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. You got to keep a nice
awesome.
blend. But,
and how old are you again?
This is like early, I'd say late 90s, early 2000s. I was like a young guy. Probably so you were in like 7, 8-ish.
In the elementary school.
Yeah,
still.
And he used to like, I had a little...
Out of diapers,
yes.
Gotcha.
In school.
Nice.
He had like, he would burn me...
Big boy pants.
Yeah, he had LimeWire back in the day.
Ooh.
And my dad's a Mac guy, and they ended up making LimeWire for Mac, but like it wasn't like in its inception, it was mainly just PC.
Right.
So I couldn't download music. And so my uncle was like the guy downloading music, making me mix CDs.
Dude, that's the plug.
And then like
that mix CD plug.
Dude, I had like one of those little like portable CD players.
Oh, of course.
Like I would listen to these mix CDs on the bus going to like school in 5th grade.
Dude, 100%. Do you have any like stickers on the CD player, or was it just like? Did you keep things clean? How were you?
I kept it clean because those CD players, anyone who had them back in the day and I'm sure you might be able to vouch, they broke a lot. They were shitty. They would last like a couple months and then that was it. You had to get a new one.
Well, when you were dealing with lasers, it's like, what are small mechanical laser machine? Yeah. Like this is awful.
So it's like you throw a sticker on it, like your favorite sticker, and then you're just like, well, damn, I mean, I guess that sticker's gone because the CD player no longer works.
Dude, it teaches kids object permanence. And it's like, it's a subtle lesson that you may not learn right away, but you need to. Like you should.
No, for sure.
So you gotta stick, that's the thing. So when you got a sticker, you gotta stick it on something. Yeah. A sticker on the, like, a sticker not sticking is like, a baby not born, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
for sure.
You got to start the lifespan because at a certain point, you're not going to use that sticker on the thing.
Yeah.
I'm talking too much about stickers.
No, you're good. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't really use them anymore because I had stickers back in the day, but I stickered up a MacBook years ago and I went to sell it and like I had to take them off, and it like totally ruined the back of my computer.
The trauma. They
was
got
like,
sticker
oh
trauma.
damn! Like
I think everyone learns their lesson at one point.
Yeah.
When they do that,
Yeah.
for sure. But I did want to also ask. So we'll go quick because I want to get to the DJ stuff because I wanted to ask about your equipment because I know you posted Instagram stories. Follow this man on Instagram, by the way.
Mind Games.
Mind Games on Instagram. No vowels because who needs them?
Well, there's one.
There's. Oh, the E?
There's the E.
There is the E.
Yeah.
But the E is for the internet. It's because you're on the internet. That's the Instagram. Whatever. But no. The okay, so as a youth, what did your parents listen to that you didn't listen to? I feel like that's a interesting
that I
thing.
didn't
Like, what
listen
did they listen to, like radio stuff that you just like didn't go with, or like?
Well, no, I mean, honestly, I did. Like my dad, even though he wasn't really like a quote unquote DJ, and wasn't huge with music like that, he did put me on to a bunch of stuff. Like he was a big Death Cab for Cutie guy. He actually just went and saw them like a week or two ago.
I saw Modest Mouse, and I'm sure those are very colliding forces.
Like early 2000s alternative. Hell yeah.
Sad.
Yeah.
A little bit, just a little sad.
Yeah. Nostalgia,
or a lot.
I feel
nostalgia
like.
for sure. Yeah. It's no. I feel like the Strokes are like not as sad as those bands though. So it's like if you were to say like that or like, trying to think of like, everyone was sad. Why was everyone sad in the early 2000s? Maybe not like the Spice Girls. They weren't sad.
Yeah, I think it was like a time of reflection.
It's
you
true.
Know what I mean? Like post 9/11, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
New century.
Yeah, dude.
Everyone's just like, who am I?
Oh yeah.
Is this the 2000s? Is this what we thought it would be?
Yeah, dude. Y2K.
Turn your electronics off.
Yeah.
Do
Times.
you turn your clocks off? Would you turn your clock if it's electronic? A digital clock you would turn off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually remember New Year's Eve of
really?
Y2K.
How was that?
I mean, my parents. I mean, I was young. I was.
Yeah.
I'm trying to 6 years old.
Right.
But I remember seeing the fireworks and my parents, like my dad, being like, "Yeah, the world didn't blow up. Like, or,
we made it.
You know what I mean? Like, we're good.
Yeah, we're all. Dude, I honestly, what's funny about that? I remember the same thing, like having that, like, oh no, the world didn't end, but it was in the 2012, like the December 21st. Yeah. I remember I was in a dentist office, and it was like it hit like noon or like 10 a.m. and I'm like, I think we're good. I think we'll be good. Like I'm gonna hit 16. This is gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
So it's like just so weird. There's childhood traumatic moments.
No, for sure.
Getting into middle school then. So what was in your CD player in the middle school? What do you remember your first CD that you bought or that was gifted to you?
First CD that I bought.
I assume that's middle school.
Yeah, yeah. So I did a lot of, like I said, my uncle in elementary school burned me a lot of CDs, a lot of mixed CDs.
Oh, right. Okay.
And he put anything on them. And
you
there was
had the
like,
plug.
Dude, and he was cool with it too. There was even a time where like, I feel like early 2000s, that's kind of like when hip hop was becoming more mainstream. If that makes sense. Like I remember like the Eminem album came out. I think it was like Real Slim Shady was the big one.
Yep.
And
Chameleonaire.
Yeah, dude, and people in like I remember elementary school, like my friends in the 4th grade were listening to like Eminem and shit. And like and it was a big deal. Like I remember my mom being like, "Oh yeah, you got to buy the clean version."
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know.
We literally, I mean, as far as like dirty, explicit albums go, like that's one of the worst. Like those, as far as like the edgy stuff.
Yeah.
Like for that time, it was. But same thing for Odd Future. Like that's what I've literally the past couple of weeks have been like going back, and I'm like, I was like 12, and this is like bad. Like this I'm glad I didn't like absorb too much of this like in a terrible way because I think I could have.
Dude, speaking of Odd Future, I remember I was in high school. I think it was like my freshman year or something like that when the Earl Sweatshirt Earl video came out when they're all drinking like and then they're like pulling their teeth out and shit.
Dude,
I remember like
was
seeing
it the barbershop?
Yeah, holy shit,
dude,
this is crazy.
Super great. Mac DeMarco, same thing where it's like the Salad Days video and like was that Passing Out Pieces or whatever? There's like they're like cutting up like body parts things like the VHS footage.
Yeah, dude,
it's great. I love it.
Yeah.
It's like it just like because I feel like with art, if any art like affects me, like whether that's making me uncomfortable or making me happy or doing whatever, it's like it's valuable.
Yeah.
So whether it's
doing its job.
Yeah, and I get why people are upset, but like you're also just advertising for them. So like, good job, guys.
For sure.
But yeah, so first, like, do you know a studio CD?
Yes, and that so like getting back to that, like
Gorillas, probably, maybe.
What I do is I'm honestly embarrassed to admit this, but like I said, so around that time,
exclusive.
I was getting my uncle was burning me a lot of CDs.
Yeah,
and hip hop was like kind of big in school. The kid I grew up with across the street really liked Eminem, and I remember that was around the time like "Party Up" by DMX came out, and that was like a banger.
Yeah.
First CD that I ever bought. 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying.
Dude, that's
at Media Play.
100%.
Back in the day.
You were the second episode to bring up Get Rich or Die Trying because Pat's mom bought that album.
Really?
And Pat's mom would play it all the time, but just the clean versions. And then Pat went to the explicit ones. He's like, "Oh, I like this.
So much
like
better.
This, yeah,
so
100%.
much better. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was like in your headphones as like an 11-year-old, like going to school.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, that was cool.
Gotta love it. When 50 Cent didn't do what's it called? Sit-ups on a pull-up bar and look kind of sad.
That was.
He looked really good back then.
He did.
Dude, he fucking kicked someone's ass.
Yeah, man. He was all business back in the day.
Def Jam? Do you remember those Def Jam games?
Yeah, dude.
100%.
Crazy.
I mean, that's not 50's label, I don't think. But that was around like that, like rapper beef era. It's great.
Yeah, man. The
Love
2000s.
The beef.
What a time.
Dude, the baggiest clothes of all time.
Hell yeah.
7XL. Do you have a 7XL, sir? Would you? Do you have this in light pink?
Yeah, dude. Oh man.
Please.
Back then, if in middle school, if you were rocking pink, you were hard.
You were fucking.
You were like that guy is all business.
Like, what does he got? Suede? Does he have suede shoes?
Yeah,
on?
dude.
Oh my god. So going to high school, what was your progression? Because I assume you probably like found your own path at this point.
For sure.
Because uncle recommendations only go so far.
So his name is Jim. But,
shout out Jim.
Shout out Jim. But he had like growing up, he had like a nickname Scooter.
Ooh.
So like he's always been Uncle Scooter, and now
Scooter.
like in my adult life, just Scooter.
Dude, that's great. Actually,
dude, my dad is 7 years younger than him. My dad was kind of like he's older. Scooter is like in his 70s now. My dad's in his 60s. My dad was telling me that he didn't know until he was 11 years old that his brother's actual name was Jim.
Are you kidding me? Like, he just called him Scooter his whole life until 7.
Well, it's because I guess like when he was a baby, like before he could walk, he would like scoot across the floor. So they just always called him Scooter.
That's amazing. That's like what an origin. That's like it sticks for life too. Like there's no change in that.
Yeah.
And it's like and then as an old man, does he have like a little wheelie cart thing?
Not yet.
A scooter?
He's actually, he's in his 70s. He's pretty active.
Okay.
He doesn't like work out or anything, but like he's retired and bored.
Yeah.
So like he
probably still listening to some funky jams.
Yeah. He goes grocery shopping a lot. And like,
it's one of his fun activities.
That's what I mean,
hell yeah, dude.
Whatever you got to do when you're retired.
Scooting that cart, man.
Yeah,
he's scooting it.
He's keeping the name.
Any opportunity to scoot, you got to take it.
But going back, Scooter kind of put me on in my early years.
Shout out Scooter.
Shout out Scooter. One time Scooter.
One time. Jim and Scooter, you guys both get a shout out, even though you're the same man.
Two. Yeah, let's
One
do
and
it.
the same, two sides of the same coin.
Yeah, man. He'd love that.
Keep going. Interrupt Central here. Go ahead.
No, we're good. So yeah, middle school, I was kind of doing my own thing. Like LimeWire was available for Mac, so I was burning my own CDs.
The glory days.
Still kind of crappy music taste then. Mm-hmm. And then high school was when I really I think that kind of shaped a lot of like what I listen to today. Mm-hmm. That's when I was getting into I had phases throughout high school. So like my freshman and sophomore year, I listened to like a lot of indie alternative. Mm-hmm. Like I was listening to like Beach Fossils, Wild Nothing.
Yep. Probably like Vampire Weekend.
Yeah.
We've talked.
We have. I listened to a lot of these bands like when they first came about. The big first album.
Dude, I wrote that down. I'm like, I'm bringing up the debut. Mind Games is a debut only, man. If you make a second album, it will never live up to the first one.
Well, dude, I feel like the reason
for
that.
Come correct.
The reason for that, and like this, I'm going to bring something up that I do want to get into.
There's a philosophy.
There's like this whole story. I feel like kind of like goes back and forth and twists and turns and all that. But
for this podcast.
Debut album, perfect example. Like Waves. I was a huge Waves fan, and like freshman and sophomore year of high school. And it was his debut album that like put me on lo-fi. You know what I mean?
Gotta
He recorded it in his garage.
Oh, yeah.
I remember hearing it. I'm like, wow, this sounds like shit. Like it's all staticky. And
Why
like,
do I love it?
Terrible.
Yeah.
And like I remember thinking to myself, like I listened to No Hope Kids was the first song I heard. I saw watched the music video and everything. This is like 2010, maybe even 2009.
Right.
And I remember hating it at first, but then I found myself, you know, kind of like wheeling back to it. Like, all right, well, I'll listen to it one more time. It might be something there.
Right.
And you know, I listened to it a bunch of times and I still hated it. And then it somewhere along the line, I ended up loving it.
Yeah.
And then I listened to the whole album, loved the album. Saw him in concert. He came to Mohawk Place in 2010. Came with a band called Christmas Island. Dude, I remember like...
Okay, yeah.
Literally, there was like probably 20 people at this show at Mohawk Place in like 2010.
Yeah.
I even like went up and like met him afterwards and everything. It was cool.
Yeah. And then that's so is he like wait, because where is he? Do you know where he's from?
San Diego.
It's San Diego. So it's like at that time it was just the blow up, like real on the rise sort of era of his run. Because like had he released an album when you saw him?
He had the self-titled Waves album out, and that was the lo-fi one. I think it was like 18 tracks.
Right. And it probably took a little bit to like circulate. And then everyone kind of was like, oh, this guy.
Like, he came out with that album in, I think, 2008 was when it was released.
Oh, okay. So
he'd
probably been touring him. Yeah.
And the crazy thing, too, was, like, when I saw him at Mohawk in 2010, I think he did South by Southwest in Texas that year. He was doing, like, he wasn't any, like, main stage, but, like, he was doing, like, small stages in different places.
That says a lot, though.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
For an artist that like just wants to perform like in their venues, like when they can do big venues, like that's. I actually just went to see Sam Morrill. Sam Morrill, shout out, comedian, if you know that guy. He has a podcast and whatnot. But he just shot a Netflix special, and he's like still coming to Helium. So it's like he could definitely like he sold out the Beacon Theater, I think, in New York. Like there's a bunch of shows where like he could totally go to Shays, but like he wants that comedy club. That's like this that intimate vibe. 100%. Yeah. That's awesome though.
I was actually talking, not to get too sidetracked, but I was talking to one of my buddies.
It's going to be the whole day.
Yeah. It's all good. It's a part of the program. But,
honestly, at this point, just don't fight it.
Little side note. I was talking to one of my DJ friends the other day. Diplo actually does that a lot too. Diplo's huge. He plays like sold out stadiums. Oh yeah,
Major Lazer. That whole
But dude, if you follow him on Instagram, he's been doing these pop-ups. Like, he did one in New York in like early May. He does them in LA all the time. Where like he'll literally like pull up to like a public park with like decks and like a speaker, and then like he'll start playing, and then he'll post on Instagram like, I'm at this park, come hang out.
Yeah, dude, that's the shit.
And like people come hang out, and like they usually always get shut down because they always blow up way too hard.
Of course.
But it's like this guy is playing these intimate settings. Like he could play any stadium he wants in pretty much the world. You know what I mean? But like
it shows
he
your
just
value.
Wants to play for a small group of people. You know, it's cool.
Dude, 100%. Because it's like that's where you connect with people. And that's like for the artists that like make good stuff and like can generally outlast the cheap like 5-second of fame, whatever. Is a 15-minute. I don't who knows.
Yeah,
I guess it could vary. But when they don't have that like pop to rely on anymore, as I pop the microphone, it's a lot harder to like lean on whatever gimmick that you were popped with. So like following trends and like not being like that and like a genuine person, like it'll only get you so far.
Yeah.
So
100%.
I don't want to, blow up anyone's spot, but there are a lot of early 2000s artists and maybe rappers that are not as popular nowadays.
Yeah.
Because it's just like...
Yeah, they just fell off.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
You're not doing anything.
Well, dude, that's like kind of getting back to the original story. That's like with Waves, he was doing like the smaller like indie stuff.
Right.
And he had that lo-fi album, which was all self-produced. He recorded it himself, and I thought that was the coolest thing. And then I think it was the following year... It might have been 2010 or 2011. I don't remember, but he came out with his album King of the Beach, which was like the big Waves album. Everyone loved it. I remember like people, because like back in the day when I knew him off of the self-titled, people were like, who the fuck is Waves? Like, who is this dude? And then I'd play it for him, and they're like, what is this? Like, dude, come on.
This indie garbage. You just pressing buttons and strumming notes.
Yeah. Well,
I honestly haven't heard Waves very much, if anything.
Dude, so
I think you might have sent me one like back in the day, but I don't know if I
for sure.
remember.
I got you. I'll send you some links. But no, he did lo-fi, so it was like very staticky. You know, they clipped everything, but it was like, you know, it was an art form.
Yes.
But no, so he came out with King of the Beach, and I forget which label that was on. It was on a major label. Mm-hmm. It might have been Fat Possum, even though they're not major, but it was on a label,
right?
And you could tell, or at least I could tell, that he kind of fell off. Yeah. Like he didn't fall off, but like the songs he got comfortable, and he like the whole album sounded like a mainstream album. Mm-hmm. I'm like, this guy's just selling out. Yep. Sell out is the big word.
Well, I think selling out is kind of you just listen to too many people with like not as good of an opinion as you. Yeah. Because like that's like your whole value to the thing is like you made all this to like get popular to begin with. So like with that first album, when it pops and it becomes like a big thing, and then like people are like, oh, you should do this now, and then oh, you should do this, and it's like, well, what do you want to do? Like you have to ask yourself more than like asking other people what to do, because then it's like goes into the gimmicks and then sounds like a mainstream album.
You have all this outside influence.
Yep.
Yeah. No, for sure.
And it's tough to say no. Like you just have to learn to say no. Like trust yourself more than other people, because I'm sure it's like people will it a little bit more when there's like people paying attention. Like people obviously pay more attention to you when people are paying more attention to you.
Yeah.
Write that down. That's a good one.
There it is. Quote of the day. Quote of the year. There it is.
But okay, so was that in high school that you went to this concert? This was in high school.
This was my freshman year. Okay. It's like 2009, 2010-ish.
Moshing to Waves.
Moshing to Waves.
Hell yeah.
Young lad enjoying lo-fi punk.
Young Tonawanda lad.
Yeah, dude.
Moshing to Waves, driving a half hour to Buffalo.
Yeah.
I'm staying. Wait, did you have a car at that time?
No.
Okay.
I did not. I think that I was like 15 or 16 then, but I didn't have a car right away.
What were you saying then?
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
But go ahead.
What was your car experience high school wise? Because I assume, did you get a car in high school? Or?
I did.
So give me your first car and then what you would play in that car throughout the remainder of high school. Because I assume that's probably like sophomore,
junior, senior. Although I had a car briefly in my sophomore year. My dad...
Make and model
2000 Mazda Millennia S.
Hell
Suede seats. Bose 6-disc CD changer.
Ooh, the goods.
Yeah, cream of the crop.
What was the color?
Silver.
Good enough.
Yeah,
it's
I
fine.
don't really like silver cars.
Silver bullet, baby.
So no, what happened was it was my dad's car.
Okay.
That he bought it in 2000. Yeah. And like my dad's one of those guys that like he buys a car, drives into the ground, and then buys another. Like he doesn't flip cars that often.
An efficient man.
Yeah, and so he had this car, this Mazda, and this is like 2012, and he was having issues with it. Like it just ran like shit. It had over 100,000 miles on it. It was burning oil.
Yep.
Constantly in the shop. At that point, I just turned 16, and he needed a new car, and so he goes to the dealership. And I kept telling him, like, Dad, let me buy that car off you. Let me buy that car off you. He's just like, no, like you're not like buy your own car.
Yeah, right. And, this is my car. Get your own car.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So he goes to the dealership to trade it in for like a new car, and they're like, we'll give you $500 for it.
I was like, we don't want this.
And so I'm like, and I was there with him when he was trading. I was like, no, I was like, Dad, I will give you $500 for it.
Who do you love more, this dealership or your son?
Dude, and so
make
he's like,
a choice.
And so he's like, and you know, my parents are very like, love him to death, but they were very like old school. Like my mom's Italian, my dad was, they're old, you know, so like, he's like, all right, I'll take your $500 for it. Like, I'm not just going to give it to you.
Yeah, 100%. So old school, would that be like they use your middle name a lot?
No, like not even that. I just mean old school in the sense where like, they're like, if you want a car, you can buy a car.
Right.
And like before I had a car, I remember being like, yeah, I want to go hang out with my friends. And they'd be like, okay, ride your bike.
Yeah, right. It's like, go figure it out sort of thing, which is good. No, it teaches you how to like figure things out, which is like, I think the most important thing.
Yeah. It builds character.
It makes you, definitely able to ask people for directions or questions.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you're just like, I literally, if I don't do this, I'm going to be lost. So.
Yeah.
But hey, man, you got to get thrown out of the nest sometime.
Yeah. So the Mazda though,
what you bumping in that 6 CD disc changer?
I did a mixture of both. I burned CDs and then also had a cassette deck. So I bought one of those cassette deck to like aux cable things.
Yeah.
So those things are great. Like, dude, I had friends with FM transmitters. I'll take the cassette all day.
100%. Yeah, with the radio frequency shit, like, no, I'm not dealing with this. This is, if the radio comes in, it's a problem. Like, this is bullshit. Why don't we just plug it in?
Dude,
like, we could just plug it in.
What happened? I know.
It's ridiculous.
But yeah, no.
Bring back the cassette decks.
Bring it back.
Car company. Mazda, if you're listening, Mazda.
I know.
You were so much better.
Dude, cars these days don't even have CD players.
Cars these days.
I was dating a chick in high school, and I was...
We've talked about this.
Dude, I was burning this chick's CDs, and... She drove like a Chevy Malibu. Like, this is like 2012. 2011, I think it was. Yeah. And
it's probably white too.
It was actually the old man tan.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, it was like weird. But,
old man tan.
Yeah.
Women love white Jeeps for some reason. I don't know why. I've noticed that.
I feel like Jeeps are a Buffalo thing too. I see a lot of them. It's
true.
Here.
And they all park on every snowbank that they see because fuck them.
They're like, I drive a Jeep. I got to show off.
And I don't have any doors. Shut up. I know you just want me to talk about you, and there you go.
Yeah.
Fuck you guys.
There it is.
I'll buy a Jeep.
But no, so dude, I was saying I remember in high school I was burning CDs for this chick that I was dating. Yes. And like I was very poetic with it. You know, like I would burn CDs based on like different seasons and shit. And then that car, that Chevy Malibu that she had, it was a lease. She had to trade it in, and she ended up getting a Chevy Sonic. Her dad like worked for GM, so she was like stuck with Chevys.
Yeah.
But she was sorry. She got a Sonic and it didn't have a CD player, and I remember that being like a big deal. And she's like, "You could just make me a playlist on Spotify." And like I was over here having a temper tantrum, like, it's not the same.
You can't put Spotify in your car.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, no, it's like the slow, like it's the sounds and like the little like that's it. Literally good sounds. Like that's why I wanted to call this good sounds, because like that whole process of like a vinyl crack. Or like all these things that like physical media has, like you don't know you're missing until it's gone.
Yeah,
that's
100%.
And then you're like on Spotify for like 5 years, and then you're like, why is this boring? Why am I bored? Because it's like, and it goes back to character, where it's like nothing has character.
Yeah,
unless you put like a vinyl crackle in the background, which I do, because why not? Well, and I put VHS footage, pre-VHS stuff on the footage. Like you gotta. Make it
give
a little,
it that analog warmth.
100%. It's the warmth. Yep.
Well, dude, I feel like it's that too, and like also like as far as like burning CDs went, it's like there was something physical. You know 100%. What I mean? It was like I feel
you draw a picture on it.
Yeah, you draw a picture. Like I would buy cases, and like I would try and like I would write the track list and like throw and like keep it like real tight. You know what I mean,
dude? Yeah. People would get like super into it, would like print out like the 8.5 by 11 just like regular paper, but then like cut it out in the shape of like, this is the album cover.
Yeah,
like this is the sick mix.
But it's
this
like,
is my sick mix.
I feel like doing that. It's
sick
like
mix 2.
You're putting work into it rather than just like, all right, here, let me add just a few songs to this playlist. Here you go.
Dude, cell phones suck. They're super like they make everything so much like the cool guy that's like. On a cell phone, like fuck that guy. Yeah. Like why do I physically hate that?
Yeah.
Like I just and it's like that guy would never put the effort into burning a CD. Like that's not cool enough, or it's like too much work to be cool.
Yeah.
So I don't like it. I think it's not cool.
Dude, I agree.
So,
but
high school.
I know you're like keep running around.
When you graduated, because going from graduation to early 20s, I assume that's when you started the DJ photo. Video
so all of this, I have a backstory that I'm going to tell. That's it.
When we get to the point, get there.
Yes. So high school.
Yes.
I was early high school, early on, like freshman, sophomore year. I was listening to a lot of like Wild Nothing, like I said, Beach Fossils. Saw both of them at the Trout. RIP, great venue. Craft Spells.
I have not heard of them.
Two Door Cinema Club debut album.
Of course.
Vampire Week.
Empire of the Sun.
Album. Empire of the Sun.
Empire of the Sun.
I actually played them the other night at Savoy.
Yeah, dude.
I was like,
good. But I heard you also play the Gimme Gimme Gimme. Was that?
Yeah, ABBA. Yeah,
the ABBA. You got to play the ABBA.
Yeah, it's a classic. Yeah, classic for sure.
That's a big DJ wave at the moment.
Oh, people love it.
People love it. Got to give the people what they want,
dude. Honestly, low key.
Yeah.
And I tell all my DJ friends this, and like, dude, you're fucking crazy. Like, why?
Yeah.
But like, Gimme Gimme, that's an obvious one. People love it. sometimes I'll slip Cher.
Yeah, dude.
Believe by Cher. All my DJ friends are like, dude. Like,
oh,
what? They're like,
you're
that's corny. They're like, why would we ever do that?
Yeah.
But dude, I was at Savoy the other night. I'm playing Believe by Cher, and I'm like, you know, on the chorus, I'll like cut the music, and like the whole bar is singing it. People are jumping and shit.
Oh,
like,
dude. That's the best. Because
like,
even if it is corny, at least everyone does know it. And like the like camaraderie of it like overrides.
I've seen people like stand up on like bar tables like to that song.
Dude, fuck yeah. As much as I hate weddings, oh my God. If Whitney Houston, like I'm Every Woman will never get old.
Oh, yeah.
Or no, that's Chaka Khan. But what was
the fucking, I Want to Dance with Somebody's a big
I Want to Dance. Yeah. I think I Want to Dance might be the one that I always hear at weddings because I usually leave right after that.
What's the one that's like classic rock that they always play with like the girls?
Whitney Houston?
No, it's a vocal thing. Everywhere I go, you guys fucking sing this song.
Sweet Caroline?
Oh, I hate Sweet Caroline. That one sucks. That one, no.
No, there's like, it's like Kansas or one of these like rock bands. Probably something I should
It's probably Journey.
Journey, Don't Stop Believing.
That's the one that's annoying.
I hate that.
That's the one that's annoying as well.
Yeah.
Just a small town girl. Yeah, fuck that song.
Yeah.
I hate that song.
Dude, I've bartended a lot of weddings, and I'm gonna go outside and smoke a cigarette.
Right? Yeah. Whitney Houston and Michael Jackson jams only at weddings.
Yeah.
And Earth, Wind, and Fire it's getting there, but I like Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah, September.
Yeah. It's wearing me thin. It's
dude, honestly, it kind of like I going back to that ABBA track, I love it, but I feel like it's starting to get to the point where it's becoming a little overplayed.
It's 100%. Well, I mean, when did that? Because isn't that one video that like blew up that made everyone like, I should do that?
Full Lamar, he was doing a DJ set.
Yeah. Shout out.
Yeah, dude, he's a great DJ. Definitely check that dude out.
Hell yeah.
But great DJ producer. He does a lot of funky stuff. But he was doing a Boiler Room set at, I think it was like AVA Festival somewhere in Europe. And he just kind of like dropped that. And like that song's always been around. It's an old track, but like it wasn't really in rotation.
Right.
And he brought it up and like the crowd went nuts. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's kind of why it has this like, you know, this comeback.
Dude, 100%. It's like that has the, I did want to ask if you had any, okay. I want to get to it later.
Yeah, well,
high school. Let's finish high school and then move on to your DJ story because the talk is clicking.
Yeah.
The clock is ticking.
We're running out of daylight here.
I can't speak. I can't think. Go ahead.
All good. So these things all tie together. Like I said, freshman, sophomore year, a lot of indie bands.
Yep.
Junior and senior year, I got a Spotify subscription. I stopped downloading music in like 2011 because like that was like when LimeWire was on its last legs.
Yep.
And then I started torrenting a little bit, but I didn't I was getting a lot of like shitty torrents. And
it's scary.
Yeah, and I was just
I don't want to open all those files.
Yeah, dude. And like not to sound like, but like, you know, I had a Mac, so I wasn't too worried because the whole thing, like, oh, Macs don't get viruses.
Yes.
But even though they do, but
yeah,
whatever.
They just brick and don't work anymore.
They can.
Oh no, that's better.
Yeah. So I was torrenting for a little bit, and then I was just like, yeah, no, I can't do this. And then that was right around the time Spotify like came out. Mm-hmm. I think this was like 2011, 2012.
Yeah.
And so I was like, it's $10 a month. I was working at that point. I was like, I'll just get a Spotify account. So I did that. And then like I was still listening to a lot of like indie alternative, but then I kind of shifted more electronic.
MGMT.
Yes. MGMT. Love MGMT. Saw them at Art Park a number of years ago.
Dude, I remember my brother went to that show and said that everyone was moshing to Congratulations.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? It's like the slowest song.
It was insane. Great show.
But electronic.
So yeah, I was getting more into electronic. Like more of the genre. The thing with electronic music and like house music and dance music is there's so many subgenres. It's like hard to keep track. So I just kind of like blanket it in the term of like electronica.
Yeah.
So like back then,
would you say that it would be mainly dance music? Like it's not like.
So the thing with like yes.
Yeah.
It's got like house fundamentals.
Right.
But the thing is like with conventional house music, a lot of times if there's a vocal, it's subtle. There's not a lot of it.
It's like
but it's more it's more in like they have the constant 4 to the floor beat, and then like they'll like sprinkle a little bit of like, you know, a bass line or something on top.
Right.
But
a lot of loops.
Yeah, a lot of loops. A lot of loops.
And would you have like a artist example for house specifically, like a classic house artist?
Classic house artist.
Because I don't know if Daft Punk would be house.
They're more electronica.
More
like
electronica.
they're actually more my speed. Like I
Okay.
like them. Justice
Justice is great.
huge.
DANCE is
Yeah, DNC Jam.
classic.
Dude,
I was gonna say I would play that.
Dude,
That's
I didn't
huge.
play that the other night, but I played Phantom Part 2.
Which is
And
that
like-
on the same album?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
I feel like it's more of a B-side.
Yeah.
But just because like little tidbit, not to like interject in the story, but like with DJing, you
You
want
could keep doing it.
yeah,
It's
you want to play familiar tracks that get people dancing.
Right.
And then like my thing is like I also want to show people music, you know what I mean? Because as a DJ, you're a tastemaker too, but you can't do too much of that because if you play a ton of music that people don't know, they get turned off easy.
Right.
You know, they're not going to dance.
I'm gonna be the only one that's like, what is this? Oh, what is this?
Yeah,
I fucking messed up the mic. Ah!
All good.
My arm hurts. I'm just kidding. It doesn't.
No, but yeah, so like the other night I was playing, like I played We're the People.
Yeah.
Played a bunch of like A-Track and Duck Sauce, like,
Okay.
and then kind of
That sounds really cool.
yeah
To someone
dude,
that doesn't know what those bands are, but it's like
Duck
like if
Sauce
you
is
said I
cool.
played some A-Track and Duck Sauce, like that just sound like those band names were the perfect ones. Be like, yeah, he's cool. This guy's fucking
yeah,
he's
dude.
playing some deep shit.
Yeah, no, A-Track and Duck Sauce, they're like A-Track. He's actually a scratch DJ.
Okay.
Who he produces like house and electronic music now.
Gotcha,
But
gotcha.
no, dude, and it was like I was like party music,
Yeah.
and then like kind of threw the Justice in there, and there were a few people in there that like
Right.
they were like there was another DJ in Savoy the other night, DJ Dovey. He's like an OG in Buffalo.
Right. Shout out.
He
Shout
like
out.
looks up the DJ booth. He's like, I see
Yeah,
what you
yeah,
did there.
Dude, those are the only people I will play. Like, if I ever get into DJ, I will be like, I'll like look around, be like, yeah, I don't care about everyone else, just that guy. I'm playing for just that guy.
yeah.
That's great though. But that's probably why I won't get many gigs. So
No, but I mean that's you got to
do my own
There's a
gigs.
happy medium. There's a happy
Right.
medium because I get that way too, especially like coming out of the pandemic, like from live streaming, playing whatever I wanted to like okay, I actually have to entertain now.
right.
But-
I did want to ask you about that. So coming out of high school, where are you DJ wise? What did you want to do when you graduated?
Well,
Like,
that's
did you
actually
know, or-
I want to tell the DJ story / high school story first because
Let's do
that's like go back to that one because that one has a lot of significance into like where this kind of ends up.
the journey.
So like I said, freshman, sophomore year, a lot of indie.
Mm-hmm.
Junior, senior year was getting more into like electronic, like Cut Copy. Totally Enormous Extinct Dinosaurs is one of them.
That's great.
Gorgon City.
Love it.
A lot of like, this is like 2011 era.
Uh-huh.
And
And this is new music at that time.
new music at that time.
Okay.
Oliver Heldens a little later on. But like, yeah, a lot of like electronic. And I started writing a music blog.
Oh, okay.
Called The Buried Tapes. And what I would do is I did a mixture of both. I would put on like a lot of like indie alternative. What I would do is every Monday I would release 5 tracks that I really liked. And I would write like little editorials on each track.
Nice.
Like why I liked it and like what this artist was doing, et cetera, et cetera.
That's sweet.
And it got to the point where I was like, all right, I got to dig deeper. I
Uh-huh.
got to get some unique shit on here. Like
Right.
I can't be writing about tracks that everyone knows. You
Gotta
know what
stand
I mean? 'Cause
out.
Then it's like, you know, why are people like, oh, I heard that track, I know that. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
There's
like,
no reason for you to be around because, like,
Yeah, dude, the
The
point of-
algorithm gave me that.
yeah, the
Yeah.
point of
but
a-
not at that time. Probably.
not at that time. This was like 2012 Blogger.
Yeah, that was
area.
like right before Facebook. Or
Yeah.
like right around.
Well,
that.
Facebook was around then.
It was like that, like 2010, 2012. I think that was like the ramp up.
Yeah, early 2000s.
Yeah.
There was like other blogs that like I read at the time were like Weekly Tape Deck, Hipster
Okay.
Runoff.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of like Brooklyn Vegan, a lot of those like
Right.
New York blogs,
Is
New York
this-
and LA.
Tumblr at all, or is this
Not on Tumblr. These are like actual. So like
It's like
Google,
a website?
Google, yeah, Google
Okay.
had this thing, like you know, they have Google Photos, Google
Right,
Drive. They
right.
had this thing, Blogger, and it was basically like a
Yeah.
WordPress. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like you could create your own website. You could
Yep.
pay for a domain if you wanted to.
Yeah.
It was like $10 for the year. So yeah, I bought the domain. So
Yeah,
you go to theburiedtapes.com and it was like a custom website like, in blog format.
Huge.
But
Because that was like what MySpace sort of was too, where it was like it had like the like a custom page. Like you can do your own code
layouts
and like all that
everything.
shit. Yeah.
Blogger didn't have like you couldn't comment on the posts.
Okay.
It was just kind of like a destination website. Like you
Right.
went there to read. There was no social interaction.
Gotcha.
Just because music blogs back in the day weren't really like you would take like how I would promote it. I would go on Twitter and post it like, okay, Music Monday, here's my stuff, and people would like retweet it or like reply to me on Twitter, and that's how we communicated.
Huge.
But so yeah, I wrote this blog. I started at my junior year of high school and was digging deep, and it got kind of big to where like I met a dude out in Philly who was like also writing a music blog.
Damn.
And he's like, dude, we should join forces. So
Yeah.
we did. Another chick that I went to high school with who was like really big into the music scene with me, she was like writing posts, and it got like decently sized. Nothing crazy, but like I would get like, for me in high school in like 2011, 2012, getting like 300 views on like a post that I did.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, that's kind of a big deal, you know?
I mean, that's pretty much my graduating class. Maybe a little bit less than it, but yeah,
and,
that's huge.
You know, yeah, so I was digging deeper for tracks and digging like on SoundCloud especially, you know, finding a bunch of SoundCloud like electronic artists.
The golden days of SoundCloud.
Yes.
When it was good, when it was an enjoyable platform.
I know, pre-ad SoundCloud.
Yeah, oh my God.
Free, no advertisement SoundCloud.
Zero ad. That was like the, what was that? It's like Chris Travis and like those like early crazy trap days too.
Yeah.
Like they would, the SoundCloud rappers, that's where the term came from.
Dude, it's a whole era,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, so I was digging deep on SoundCloud and I found this is kind of like relevant to the whole story and as a whole.
Right.
I found this producer, Darius. He was out of France, Paris, France.
Gotcha.
And he did a lot of like electronic house minimal stuff. And he was really cool. And like I wrote a whole editorial on him. And at the time, he only had an EP out on SoundCloud. It was like a 5-track EP.
Right.
And he would like on his EP and like on certain tracks, he would only have like 10, 15 likes. So like very low key, you know, not really out
but
there.
You were like,
you had to dig deep to find it.
Yeah.
So that was me in high school.
Yeah.
Fast forward to college. And like, you know, so I was listening to a lot of electronic and shit like that. Still didn't.
Were you still in contact with Darius?
No. I kind of fell off.
So just like you just did the.
But
one
I
piece
wrote the editorial, but it was one of those things where like he was low key. He was low, and that's where this comes into play.
Gotcha.
So then, listen to a lot of the same electronic music in college. I kind of gave up on the blog then, just because I was a lot busier.
Yeah.
I had a girlfriend at the time.
Tell me about it, man.
Yeah. I still burned her CDs until she got rid of her car with the CD player. R.I.P.
End of an era.
But end of an era. But
it's like a sticker, man. Doesn't last forever.
Dude, I know.
Got to put it on something.
Yeah. But
dude, I'm telling you, there's a metaphorical
significance
in stickers.
For sure.
People are not looking at.
Yeah.
Continue.
One day they'll get it. But
hopefully I can provide that.
Yeah, dude.
The light.
You'll be the front man of the sticker movement.
I will. I'll make a sticker about it.
Yeah.
And then post it everywhere, and hopefully
there you go.
Save the sticker. I don't know. We'll talk.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But
college.
No, so college, I was listening to a lot of electronic. And I kind of like I didn't really give up on like the indie stuff, but like it just wasn't really appealing to me anymore. I remember vividly there was one time that girl that I was dating, she said to me, she's like, your music taste changed. And I'm like, oh, okay.
It's like the look over the shoulder.
You know,
it's like, who are you anymore?
But it was still cool. She liked
I like 4 on the floor. I'm sorry.
Well, no, she liked a lot of the indie alternative. Like she liked Vampire Weekend and stuff.
But that's why, because it's like you're going into the club scene.
Yeah.
And it's like, not club scene. I did want to ask though, like, were you interested in like, because like house and electronica is mainly club based, right?
Yeah, yes and no. I don't like conventional house where there's no like I like dance music. I played Skybar last night with one of my buddies who's like a full-on house DJ.
Is that the Buck Wild?
Buck Wild.
Dude, shout out Buck Wild.
Shout out Buck Wild.
Seems like the man.
He's a cool dude. He's cool. I like Bucky. But he's like a really big, like I said, there's a lot of subgenres in house. He's a really big tech house guy.
Yep.
Sorry, Bucky. But in my opinion, I feel like tech house isn't really danceable. You know what I mean? Just because it's so minimal.
Yeah.
It's like you hear like a constant beat and like there'll be subtleties that kind of get added and taken away from the track. And like that's the shit that I don't really like.
Yeah.
Like if I'm playing music,
that's a good song.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Exactly. There it is.
That's shit I don't like.
Yeah. Quick little
2 Chainz?
Yeah, 2 Chainz reference.
Shout out.
2
Chainz, if you want to be on the podcast, oh my God. That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Imagine a conversation with me and 2 Chainz.
Yeah, that'd be nuts, dude.
Dude, we're working on it.
He's got it in the works, dude. It's yeah. He's like, dude, I'm already in his DMs.
Yeah, right.
Chill, no big deal.
Dude, that's so funny.
I appreciate 2 Chainz specifically.
Yeah, 2 Chainz.
Serious on like
oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
different level besides his music.
Dude, he's the best.
For sure. Yeah, not 1 chain, but
No,
2.
he's not. Dude, that's the best. Are you kidding me? I actually had an alternate persona at one point in my life. It was sort of with my ex, but sort of just I thought of it.
Yeah.
Where I was 2 hats.
2
where
hats.
I had a hat, like I would wear a hat to work, and I had left a hat at work the other day.
Yeah.
So I would just wear them both home at one time, and I'd call myself 2 hats.
Yeah.
Because I got 2 hats.
There it is.
It's great. Roll off the tongue.
But
Getting back.
so I was listening to a lot of
Tangent
electronic.
City.
With the house thing. I
Yes.
like music. Like if I'm DJing or listening to music, I like danceable music,
Yep.
and a lot of times that has a vocal to it. It has more elements in it, and than just like your conventional like simplistic house.
Yep.
Like I said, I consider myself a house guy in the sense where the music I listen to carries a lot of house elements, but I like vocal tracks. I don't like tracks that don't have a whole lot of vocal. You know what I mean? It's there's a time and place for it, but like in the DJ world, like playing clubs, like or bars, especially the bar scene, I feel like, I don't know, stuff with vocals, I think goes a lot further.
Yeah. Oh, when people are dancing too, like it depends on the setting. Like if people are talking, I would assume probably vocals are not as good to like lean on.
Well, there's like a different type of DJing too. Like I played, I DJ'd at Pearl Street before, and then like Hartman's and Thin Man, and like I think Hartman's is a good example. When I was doing it there, all good. When I was DJing there,
Sorry, a brick fell from the wall onto the ground.
Yeah,
the studio's falling apart, but it's fine.
But yeah, no, like when I was playing at Hartman's, dude, like they didn't really have a dance floor, so it acted as more of like background music. Like you go there, get a nice cocktail, listen, like you got a nice slick vibe going.
Yeah.
So it's like there's 2 types of DJing. There's
a wandering piano. Maybe?
Yeah, you're like exactly. You're you're either creating a mood that's like background music where people can talk and drink over it, and like kind of like it's like a, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like a cerebral thing where it's like they don't know it, but it's there.
Yeah.
And then there's entertaining DJing, where like you're up on it, like it's Savoy, for example. Like you're kind of up on a pedestal. It's loud,
right?
You know what I mean? Like you can't be casual about it.
Yeah. Like we're there for the DJ, and like for the music.
Yeah, 100%.
Makes more sense. And that allows it to be more of like a performance too, than like you're just like kind of it just providing the
vibe.
I don't want to say vibe, but like just so there's no silence in the air. Like there's like the dead air. Like this, like pleasant background music beats dead air in like the human mind. I feel like
1000%.
Most cases.
Honestly, I like both.
Yeah.
I like the background vibe because I feel like I'm able to get away with playing more of what I'd want to play.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it's like I don't have people coming up to me requesting me for songs, being like, "Oh, what the hell?"
Yeah.
But I like entertaining in the sense too, where like it's like it's fun to like, okay, like I said, the formula before is you'll play like 3 or 4 songs that people know and then slip something new in there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And like the moments like that, like where I was at Savoy the other night and I played that Justice B-side, and my DJ friend was like, I see what you did there. I'm like, oh, that's it. Like I love that, Dude,
it's the best.
But anyhow, going back to where all of this kind of ties in. So I was listening to a lot of electronic in college, and I moved to the Elmwood Village, which is like kind of like downtown, with my girlfriend, just like on a whim when we were like 18.
So this was right out of high school.
Right out of high school.
Okay.
And we both had fake IDs, so like we would go out.
Hell yeah, we ain't no bitch.
Yeah, and you know what I mean? So like we were going out a lot, and like a bunch of our friends back in the suburbs.
Question,
like,
did you have the mustache at that time, or is it a recent?
No.
Okay, gotcha.
Mustache is pretty recent.
Hell yeah. Looks great, by the way.
Thank you.
No problem.
But no, so like I lived in the Elmwood Village with my girlfriend, and was listening to a lot of electronic, and we had friends from like where we grew up in Tonawanda and Amherst, and like none of them ever wanted to go out. They're like, oh, we're not going downtown. Screw that.
Yeah.
Come to Slick Willie's and hang out here. And it's like,
because they still hang out and live up there.
Yeah, dude. It's like, you know, you live 20 minutes away from someone and you're in a whole different world.
It's literally just the barrier. That's literally it. And it's like 20 minutes isn't 10 minutes. So I'm just not going to get up.
Yeah.
Like
no,
that's
100%.
That's basically the idea.
Yeah. So like I remember vividly, and this is a key point to the story.
I'll be quiet.
No, all good.
Okay.
So we were kind of losing friends from living downtown. And like all of our friends from back home were very like, oh, come here. We don't want to hang out. And I remember my girlfriend at the time was really upset about it. She's like, I feel like we have no friends here. This sucks, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, I've been really wanting to go to this bar called Blue Monk on Elmwood. RIP, no longer there. It's 40 Thieves now for anyone tuned in. Knows the location.
I've heard of that.
But
this is all in Buffalo, if anyone didn't know.
all in Buffalo, Elmwood Village. So like I really wanted to go to this bar called Blue Monk, and I was like, let's go into this bar, because I've been really wanting to go. It was like a beer bar.
You just passed by it, or was it?
Yeah, we'd like walk by it all the time. It looked really cool, really like intimate setting.
Underground.
And I remember I was like, let's go to this bar tonight. I was like, we could just go by ourselves. I was like, let's go make friends. Fuck it. Like, let's meet people downtown. And
positivity,
which like sounds so like pathetic, but like this is like a monumental piece to the puzzle. So like I think I was like 20 at this time, 20 or 21. I might have been 21. We lived downtown for a little while, right? And so we go into this bar and we're just kind of like standing around like all awkward, and I hear like they have like this real slick like electronic playlist on. Like it's got a real nice vibe, you know, the lights are dim, like it's just a really chill like good atmosphere.
It was like a new world.
Like you entered in, and it was cool. And then all of a sudden we're just sitting there like at this like little like bar table like drinking beers. I hear a Darius song come on, and I'm like, whoa, that was like the light bulb in the head. I was just like, this dude has like 15 likes on SoundCloud. What are the chances that one of those 15 is another guy in Buffalo?
Yeah, dude, that's
like
nuts.
What?
That's insane.
And he's out of France, you know what I mean? It's not like he's even out of like the US.
Right.
And
did you connect with this DJ like immediately, or
well, no, there was no DJ.
So they were just playing.
It was just on the house music.
What the fuck? They were just had it like.
Dude,
who made this playlist, bro?
Dude, that's why I was like so surprised. I'm just like, what? So I tell my girlfriend at the time, I'm like, I'm gonna ask the bartender who's playing this music right now.
I'm gonna be that. I'm guy.
Like, I will elect. Yeah, I'm like, we came out here to make friends, you know. That's so funny. Like, that's like because I'm also just curious, you know?
Yeah.
And so I go up to the bartender. I'm like, yo, man, like, whose playlist is this right now? He's just like, it's mine. Why? He's like, you like it? And I was like, dude, you know Darius? And he's just like, you know Darius?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, dude.
That's
like, holy
crazy,
shit.
Man.
And like, I ended up shooting the shit with this dude, this bartender. His name's Rob Buckwald. Shout out, Rob.
Shout out.
You know, we shot the shit for a while.
You got $2 in your life.
Yeah, a lot of bucks, man.
A lot of bucks. Soon to come.
I hope.
Yeah. We got enough bucks.
Yeah, for now. Yeah. But nah, dude. So like, I shoot the shit with him for like 5 minutes, and then like, I go and sit down back at like the bar like table that me and my girlfriend are at. I'm like, yo, like I just made friends with the bartender. He's playing this right now, and like. We were both like, I was very introverted in high school, you know, like wrote a music blog, like very wasn't a huge extrovert.
Right.
And my girlfriend at the time, super introverted. And I'm like, all right, we did our piece, we can leave.
Yeah. That was the emotional, not emotional. What is it? Like my social battery. Social battery drained. We're done. That's it.
And
let's get out of here,
dude. And then all of a sudden, like, so we're like drinking our beers, like finishing our beers, getting ready to leave. He comes up to us with like 2 empty shot glasses and sets them on our bar table. And he's just like, "You have good taste in music." He's like, "You guys got a few rounds on me tonight."
Oh,
he's
my
like,
God.
Hang out.
Shit,
and I'm
dude.
like, and then goes back behind the bar. And I'm like, damn, like we can't leave.
Yeah.
We gotta stay.
Yeah, no, now it's rude to leave.
Yeah. So we like go up to the bar, we do a shot with him.
That's so funny.
And like I just start shooting the shit with him, and he's just like, and I asked him,
you
like,
did meet a friend. You'd met,
Well, dude, and so he's like, he asked me how I got put on to Darius, and I told him how I wrote the music blog and everything. I was like a big music guy.
Right.
And he's like, have you ever considered like trying to DJ? And I was like, no, I've never tried. He's like, dude, I DJ. He's like, you should come through sometime and like I'll show you how to DJ. He's
That's
like, cause we're just rifling off like different artists and shit. We have like crazy music tastes, like, you know, that like intertwines.
Yep.
And
I mean, we kind of did that in the beginning when it was just like, oh, you know this thing?
Yeah,
you know
dude,
this thing?
yeah.
Dude.
It's one of those like wow moments, you know.
Honorable Orchestra.
Yeah, dude.
That was
self-titled.
Self-titled. It's the best one for funny for friends.
Yeah, not self-titled, but first album.
That's
right?
the first
one.
That
was the first one.
That was the first one. Yeah.
Did they have a self-titled? I don't know if they did.
We could look it up. Maybe I think Washed Out had a self-titled.
Washed Out did, yeah.
That might have been the first.
But
I get them confused a lot.
Yeah, for sure. But no, so that dude kind of like put me on, and he's like, I started hanging out with him, like, and he taught me how to DJ.
And less with your girlfriend, or was that?
No,
like,
she came through too.
Was the DJing like your new love? And it's just like she's like, he loves DJing. He loves the spit.
She
the table.
honestly, no, dude. She was honestly pretty supportive of it because she's like, that's cool because she's like, I think it was like she saw like that was like a missing piece of the puzzle. Like I wrote this music blog in high school, was like really into like making playlists and burning CDs. She's just like, dude, like do your thing. Is the next like if that's what's making you happy, do it. You know. So she 100%. Was cool about it.
Good. You're okay for now. I'll make fun of you later. No, I'm just
so no, dude, that's kind of how I started. And like I ended up buying like a little DJ controller and like it just kind of like did it at my house, like practiced and stuff like that.
Hell yeah.
But it never really went further than that. And this is like 2014, maybe 2015.
Right.
And then in 2016, me and that girlfriend broke up. And it kind of was like it was like a gnarly breakup to where like I dated that chick for like a number of years, whatever. And
there's a presidential race was heating up.
Yeah. We broke up, and then I was kind of like lost. You know, I was DJing a little bit at home, but like not a lot. And like, you know, I ended up moving back home because we lived together.
Yeah,
it was messy. But you know,
all the CDs you got to pick.
Dude, she gave them back, bro.
That is like, very nice.
Yeah, I was like,
but it's also like I don't want these.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna.
I don't want your fucking CDs.
These are your CDs. Throw them out.
Yeah, dude. No, but dude, so then
give them to Goodwill.
This is
honestly,
like
that's a good idea.
This is like Mind Games Chapter 2. So then like we broke up. I was still DJing a little bit just at home, and my dad's like, "Bro, you need to get off your ass. You're being a freaking bum. Like, do something." And my dad's a professional photographer for the Buffalo News.
Hell yeah.
He's like, he kind of convinced me to pick up a camera.
Okay.
And so I picked up a camera. He taught me a lot of stuff with photo. I watched a lot of YouTube tutorials. Was doing that. Kind of transitioned into video.
Right.
Got big-ish with that. Like I met a lot of people through like photo and video.
Yeah. I was gonna ask because you did a music video with Alex.
Creative Connect.
Connect. Boy.
Shout out Alex. He's my boy.
Dude, he just released like something yesterday or today. That's like, dude, his like colors and like
his colors are insane.
It's like makes me upset. Like shout out Creative Connect and Lukeman Muhammad.
Oh my god,
dude, it's fucking crazy and it makes me like sort of jealous, but also like you're good.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to be jealous, so I just tell them that they're good.
Yeah.
So,
positive reinforcement.
100%. And like teach me everything you know.
Dude, and the crazy thing is like they're both the most like humble guys
Super
I've ever
nice.
met.
Oh,
like,
so nice.
Yeah, dude.
I had Lukeman on the podcast, the Getting Groovy podcast I had before, and it was great.
Yeah.
Super nice guy. And then Alex, I sold a lens to him.
Yeah.
So it's like it's great. Great people here.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Sure.
It's a good community. But
getting to your photo video, do you remember like your first gigs through that, or how that like parlayed into DJing?
I don't know if I should. So I did photo and video. Like this is in like 2016.
Okay.
My dad put me on to photo.
Yep.
And then like I was shooting photo. I did a couple headshots for a couple companies. Like,
nice.
You know, this is like I don't even remember how old I was. I think like 23, 24.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know, my friends were having me do like their LinkedIn headshots.
Yeah, man.
And like,
that's what it is.
You know, and
graduation photos and LinkedIn headshots. That's all you need.
And I got a couple corporate gigs. Like I shot for this like insulation company called Clean Fiber they used to be down here.
Right.
I don't know where they are now.
Shout out Clean Fiber. You want to be on the podcast?
Yeah,
Sponsor
dude,
us.
They paid me to do their headshots.
Dude, hell
which was cool. And then
were they nice?
They were nice. It was all right.
As long as they were.
It was one of those things where like I never like I enjoyed photo, but like there was always like a missing piece there. You know what I mean? I was just like, it's not really. It's doing it for me, but not really.
This was the music blog. So like photos is the music blog to your DJing is video.
Yes.
Okay.
So then, I was following Instagram. I feel like video on Instagram was starting to become a thing around that time.
Yeah, it was the Vine days. It was 2015, 16. That was my senior and junior year.
Yep.
So that was, huge.
So then, I kind of like, I transitioned. I like the idea of video, and I just started trying it out. Like I would like shoot videos of my friends skateboarding.
Classic.
Or just like, you know what I mean? Just like shit like that.
Yeah.
I wasn't really doing a whole lot of shorts or like, written content.
Yeah.
It was more like I shot the skate stuff, and then I really liked the idea of doing like editorial type stuff. Like I watched a lot of like those noisy interviews on YouTube and like
almost like a documentary.
Yeah. I really liked the idea of that stuff.
Yep.
And
which is huge. And those are like biggest stuff out like right now as far as like the GQ interviews and like stuff where it's like a spotlight on someone.
For sure.
Those are big.
But so then so I like the idea of that, and my first break with that, I would say, there's like a little bit of a backstory. Like there was one day I was just walking down Elmwood bar hopping with one of my buddies, and I had my camera on me, and we stumbled into Savoy on like a Sunday. Sunday fun days are like their big day there. And I had my camera on me, and like I wasn't even like planning on using it. Like it was just like hanging over my shoulder. We're having a beer or whatever.
Yep.
And people are like, yo, take my picture.
Yeah. That's how it starts, man.
And so I was just like, all right, whatever. And so I did.
Sure.
I like documented it. Like I was like taking all these people's pictures. I like went like and shot the dude who was DJing it.
Yep.
And made like a whole gallery out of it.
Yeah, oh yeah. No, that's huge.
Dude, and like Savoy saw it. Like I tagged him in it, and like I sent it to him, and they're like, "Yo,
this is Instagram."
Yeah, this is Instagram and like Flickr. Like I posted a couple pictures on the gram, and then like linked my Flickr to it.
Yeah, dude.
And they comment on it, like, "Oh, this is sick." And I sent them a Flickr. I'm like, "Yeah, take whatever you want."
Yeah, right.
And
no watermarks.
So
who needs them?
Just
take it.
Dude, I actually did watermark.
Oh, you did watermark?
Yeah,
okay,
dude,
nice,
that was like big because I feel like back then.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I've kind of been out of the game for a little while, but I feel like back then watermarks were big. Like everyone was watermarking their shit.
I did for a little bit, and then I was just like, I'm done. Yeah. I don't want to put this extra effort, and if you steal it, like whatever.
Yeah.
I don't care. Print it. Who gives a shit? Yeah. I mean, I hope I get money, but if it works, I'll just do another one. So
for sure. So like that's kind of how I got linked up with them, and like they knew of me, I knew of them, and I wanted to shoot video.
Right. And
so I was shooting video of my friend skateboarding, and then, I'd go to Savoy. Like I said, their big day was Sunday. They'd have a dude who spun there.
Right.
Shout out Crespo Beats, big homie.
Shout out.
He's a really good DJ out here.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, he was like their Sunday guy. And like, dude, you would walk in there on a Sunday afternoon at like 2:00, like literally like you go in there right now.
Yeah.
And like it would be more packed in there with a line out the door than it would on a Saturday night.
That's crazy.
People day drink. Nuts. It's like the day drinking destination.
Right. It's got a good strip there too for just like just hanging out for the rest of the day.
Hop around.
Yeah. 100%.
And so I really wanted to shoot video, and I liked the idea. Like I said, I DJ'd at home still, a little on the side. And I liked the idea of shooting, like I said, I was watching a lot of the noisy stuff. Mm-hmm. I wanted to incorporate music with it. So I was like, what if I had this idea. I was like, what if I shot like an interview of the DJ, the dude Crespo who's holding it down, and like included Savoy in on it, because like they built this day like a Sunday afternoon. They're more busy than like half the bars on a Saturday night in Allentown. You know what I mean? Like
that's a big story.
They kind of did like this unique thing.
Yeah.
And
through music.
Yeah. And so
and beer and drinks.
Yeah.
Cocktail.
So this is like 2016, 2017-ish.
Yeah.
I literally go on Savoy's website, pull up their email address, and I find Crespo's, like because he had his email linked on his Instagram.
Yep.
And I send them a joint email. At the time, not thinking that they would respond. So I'm like, who checks fucking emails?
No, at that point, it's a shot in the dark, especially when you're like, what, probably 25, 26? Or no, this is like 24. 24. Yeah, so that's, I mean, at that point, like, I feel like I'm sort of at that place where I'm just like, oh yeah, I can just like ask people for things. Just like I did a TikTok / Instagram thing this morning, and Chromeo?
Yeah, dude, I saw that.
They fucking commented and reposted. I'm like, guys, you want to be on the podcast? I got a podcast.
Yeah.
So like that kind of shit where it's just like shoot your shot, man.
Yeah, no,
like,
for sure.
That's huge.
It's like the Wayne Gretzky poster that you see in like office buildings.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
You gotta take that shot.
Dramatic
man.
music.
Nah,
but dude, so
is
like
that a Twilight Zone? I think.
I think so.
Yeah,
something like that.
You miss 100 shots you would take.
Yeah.
Okay,
no, but dude, so like I sent
go.
them an email, a joint email, just being like, hey, like I'm a videographer here in Buffalo. Like,
right.
I like what you guys are doing. I want to shoot an interview. And they both responded like within like 2 days. I was like, I was shocked. I was like, oh wow, we're like doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I linked up with Crespo. I went to the dude who owns Danny Lettieri, stand-up guy, by the way. He just opened a new spot downtown. It's going to be opening in September. Streetlight Brasserie. It's like an all-day diner, whatever.
Check it. Ooh, that actually sounds.
It's a cool concept.
Very nice.
And knowing him, they'll do it well.
If you'd like to have a podcast shot there or any advertising opportunities, feel free to let us know. Or a food TV show that we may be working on.
There it is, dude.
Who knows?
Yeah. We'll lace it up.
We'll link it up. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, dude. So like they emailed back to like, let's do it. And I went to Danny's. He invited me to. He lived on West Ferry. He invited me to his apartment, and Crespo was there, and we shot this interview.
Okay.
Like where. Like we were kind of talking about that before. Like I had him set up. I mic'd him up and everything.
Right.
And I kind of did it like, we were kind of chatting about this earlier and you're like, save it for the podcast.
Yeah.
My thing is like, I wanted to do it to where like the narrative was him telling the story. Right. So like how we structured it is like I set up cameras and then I would like ask him a question that was like open-ended, no yes or no questions.
Yep.
And then I'd be like, for the sake of the camera, pause while I'll ask the question, give it like a 2-second pause, and then answer, and maybe recite the question from the jump. So like he did that, and I structured it to where it was like he was telling a story, and he told his story about like where he got into DJing from and everything. Yeah. And like I even went and like shot B-roll at like a bunch of different gigs, and like he talked about like Savoy and like the wave there, and like how that like built up. Yeah. And that was like really cool. That was like one of like my favorite projects. And then I kind of like took that further and like met up with other DJs and like shot a couple.
Yeah. And this is on was it Canon? This is the 5D?
This is on Canon 5D Mark III.
Hell yeah.
But dude, I shot it all in RAW. I used the Magic Lantern RAW for that.
That's the OG.
Yeah, dude. So it actually like the Crespo one I did on my 5D, and then at that time I was starting to get more serious with video, so I bought the A7S II.
Yep.
So that was the only one I shot on my 5D, and surprisingly, it's the best looking one because I shot it in RAW.
It's kind of crazy.
But
and it's like these companies are holding us back. Yeah, it's like this doesn't come preloaded. What the fuck?
I will say.
What are we doing?
I will say Sony is like, I do love Sony, and I feel like out of all of the companies, they don't limit their cameras. Like their cameras pretty much perform to the best of their ability without software limitations.
Yeah.
Canon and Nikon can fuck right off.
And dude, Sony will do that to the point of like, I will overheat and just turn off rather than like stop this footage.
Yeah.
Like just
for sure.
We're running until the wheels fall off.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that, Sony. Thank you, Japan.
Make your lenses cheaper. That's the only thing I can say.
Please.
The Sony glass is ridiculous.
Yeah, let's adapt. Tamron, Sigma.
Yeah.
Shout out.
No, for sure.
If we can get a Sigma sponsorship on the podcast, that'd be crazy.
That'd be tight. That's the ticket.
I'll take it.
But
even what were you gonna say?
I said no. I was just gonna say like even Canon lenses, like Canon brand, like I have a 24 to 72/8, and I got it used for like $700.
Right.
But it's like a 24 to 70 Sony 2.8 is like $2,500.
Yeah, that is stupid.
It's like crazy, dude. Like,
but it's so sharp.
Yeah.
But whatever. People love camera talk.
Yeah, no, everyone, for sure. We could talk gear all day here.
All day. That's for my other podcast, camera sounds. No,
camera sounds.
That would be a good podcast. Shutter sounds. There it is. What is it? Clicks.
Just a bunch of clicks.
Click sounds.
Yeah, dude.
All right. So going from that project, did that like lead to more?
Yeah. So that kind of led to like.
And then you were also like, hey guys, I DJ.
Well, no. Yes and no. Around that time, I was shooting video, but then I still was kind of hanging out with Rob.
Right.
And like we kind of did like a duo to where like we would go out and DJ together. And we got really crappy gigs. Like we DJ'd at a spot, not to like undermine the spot, but like we DJed at a place called Row Hall's Corner in Black Rock. It was like a tiny bar, not a DJ bar at all. But we would do like a.
It is funny if you were out of place.
Yeah,
you're just
for sure, dude.
And they're just like random guys at the bar.
Dude, it's like an old man bar.
Yeah,
They're literally posted up at the end of the bar, just like going hard, like spinning disco.
Dude, 100%. Yeah. I love it.
But dude, we spun there a couple times, and then we ended up doing like a electronic brunch at Thin Man. But like nothing like crazy, like no like really good gigs.
Yeah.
And then like I kind of like, so like I said, then I was doing the video, and like the video thing seemed to be more fruitful. Like I shot that thing with Crespo, and that turned out really good. So because of that, I was like, all right, I'm wearing too many hats. I'm going to kind of like let DJing fall by the wayside. And like Rob was getting busy too. Right. So like we stopped gigging out.
And this is 2017?
This is like 2016, 2017. 2017. Okay. Like end of 2016 going into 2017.
Yep.
And then, so yeah, I shot that video with Crespo. And then I linked up with a couple other DJs, was doing work for them, like did some more interviews. And then Savoy even brought me back on. They're like, yo, can you shoot like some promo content for us?
Nice.
So like,
there you go.
I did a couple like for like the Pride Parade, because they're right on Elmwood. Like they did like this huge party, and I just shot like a recap.
Hell yeah. And
then I kind of fell into this like loophole where like I was just the recap guy.
Yeah.
And I like...
Just put in a box.
Yeah. Dude.
And they're like, whenever they need this, they'll call you. And it's like, I'm sure creatively that was a little bit.
Oh, dude. It was like, at first, I liked it because like I would do all these like, you know, crazy transitions, like the vlog style shit where it's like a, you know, like a whip pan or like the snap zoom.
Right.
And that was cool.
I was going to ask about editing.
Yeah, the editing was cool, but then it just kind of got to the point where, like, you know, I worked for a couple places. Like, Crespo also brought me on to shoot promo content for him, so like I would pull up to his DJ gigs at, like, you know, Hardware, Skybar, and like shoot recaps of that.
Right.
And it just kind of got to the point where it was like, I was just like, I hate doing recap stuff, you know?
I'm kind of going through that with weddings at the moment, where I'm just like, it's the same thing.
But that's the thing. It's like with weddings too. It's like in like the recap stuff, working for like bars that have money. It's like that's what pays.
That's the problem.
You know? And
that's
what.
Like,
and then you're just like, man, like,
why can't these broke artists have money to pay me to do cool stuff?
And then I was doing that. I linked up with Alex, Creative Connect, and like he was doing a lot of music videos. He put me onto those, and like, we kind of formed a team where like I was like the DP, director of photography. He was the director. So like I was like the camera guy. He kind of orchestrated the whole thing. Yeah,
DP is a really bad term to use for like a job.
Yeah, people who are like out of the industry who I tell that to, they're like, you were what?
It's like the cameras. I pointed the cameras. I swear to God, I was behind the cameras. I was pointing them.
Yeah.
And I was doing good. This is a good, esteemed position. I swear to God, everyone thinks these guys are really cool.
It's up there.
This is like the important stuff. This isn't even like whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you did music videos?
So I was doing a lot of music videos just through Alex, because Alex was like the music video guy.
The guy.
Dude, I hated doing music videos.
Really?
Too. Yeah.
So you were just like dipping.
Well, dude, because it was one of
the
those
sample
things,
platter. You were hitting, you're swinging and missing.
Well, dude, as a music guy, it's like, you know, I DJ'd. I've always loved music.
Right.
This is gonna sound cold, and people are gonna be like, "Wow, fuck that guy." But like,
I could take anything out of.
I have a hard time creating. Like, if I'm doing a music video, if I'm helping shoot a music video and create a visual, or like, you know, with DJing or like, you know, making tracks, like if I don't believe in it, I have a hard time pouring my heart into it.
Dude, I'm the exact same way.
So like we were getting like a lot of music videos, except there was one that I'll shout him out in a sec, but like we were getting a lot of music videos from like artists that just, it didn't seem promising. Like we would hear the songs and be like, this song is trash.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like no offense.
Even if they have money, it's tough. Because it's if you don't connect with it, it's really just connection.
So I'm like, I'm shooting for these songs that I don't love, and I'm like, at this point, I'm just doing it for the money, and it doesn't seem like, you know what I mean. My heart's not in it.
Yeah, it doesn't, and it's not sustainable.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
and then, you know, it got to the point too where like we shot a couple and we would get burned on them from artists not paying.
That's
and I'm just like, fuck this.
Yeah, no.
So like this is like 2017.
Get that deposit.
Yes,
you gotta get that deposit.
For sure. Yeah, no. Yeah.
Yeah. No, just at least
get
something.
it up front. Get everything up front.
Honestly, at least like 25%. Like that's just a security to like save the date. Like put this in my calendar.
Dude, and that's the thing too. It's like the one thing that I would always tell people, you know, people who are outside of the industry and like, you know, my bar friends and stuff like that was like shooting it. Yeah, that's like you're doing work, you know, it's a long day.
Yeah.
But I think where it really becomes a pain in the ass is editing. Because, like, dude, I would shoot these, like, bar recaps for, like, Savoy and shit and, like, Crespo that were, like, minute-long Instagram recaps.
Yep.
But they would have, like, over, like, 50 different shots. Because it's all fast-paced content.
And,
dude,
I was shooting all night.
Yeah, well, no, I would literally, like, dude, I would go there. If I was shooting for Crespo, for example, and he was doing a DJ gig, like, on a Friday or Saturday night, I would go there and shoot as much as I could in, like, a 2-hour window.
Oh, you're right. Because you don't want to overload.
Dude, because that's the thing. I would just shoot just random shit.
Yeah.
The editing is like a video like that, like a 1-minute recap that I had 50 different shots in.
Yep.
Would take me like 5 hours to edit.
It's a mess.
It's ridiculous.
Dude, I'm going to watch this back in about probably under 24 hours and be like, yep, he's right.
Yeah, dude, it sucks.
So,
editing,
I agree.
Hats off to anyone who edits because it's a job and a half.
Yeah. That's shout out
to
the switcher for today. Do you want your name to be said? Mr. Green. That's the guy.
That's the guy. That's the man right there.
Who knows who that is? He is all of us.
Yeah, man.
But okay, so rounding home to the pandemic.
We're bringing this back. So this is like 2018, 2019-ish. We're like getting burned, shooting a lot, like burning myself out.
Yeah.
To where like in 2019, like
still
the
with your
start
parents?
of it. So yeah, still with my parents.
Gotcha.
I was kind of burning myself out. And then like, but at the same time, you know, I was talking to Alex and we're like, dude, we're just burning ourselves out because we're getting shitty gigs here. Yeah. We need to go somewhere else. So he's
all over.
Yeah.
He has someone go to Egypt and shit.
Dude,
and like,
he's well connected. He's
hell yeah.
Yeah.
He's
creatively connected. There it is.
Oh yeah, dude! Shout out his what was that hike and meditate?
Dude,
I love that shit.
Yeah,
very.
For sure.
We very much champion that here.
Yeah,
Good Sounds.
Yeah, definitely. But nah, dude. Like there was even a point where like we were talking about moving to LA, and it's weird because like looking back on it now, I'm like, man, I was so burned out. I don't know what I would have done if I moved to LA.
Like just on your last leg, I'm like let's make cross country,
dude. I'm like so burned out from getting these shitty gigs, but like somewhere along the line, I'm like, yeah, I'll just go to a cutthroat city and like I'll get better gigs and it'll be cool. But
I'm on 3%. Let's take us off the charger really quick.
So then, you know, it got to a point where I was just like, you know, this is in 2019. I was like, I want to fall in love with this again because I hate it right now. So I was like, I'm going to take some time off. And I did. I took like a solid...
Do you believe in life after love?
Yeah, dude. So does everyone.
I just wanted to circle that back.
Like,
all right, continue.
Man. But
I'm glad that hit.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so dude, I took some time off.
Yeah.
And then this is in like 2019, and then I was DJing a lot at home.
Okay.
You know, and I kind of was like in this like weird mix where I'm just like, I kind of want I want to do something creatively. I'm not doing any creative shit right now.
Right.
I'm like, I kind of want to DJ again. So like I ended up texting the dudes at Savoy, and I was like, hey, like, I know you know me as like the video guy, and like that's like all you've known me for like the past 3 years.
Yeah.
But I'm like, but I also DJ. And they're
just
like,
so you know.
And the guy's like, oh, really? He's like, what kind of stuff do you play? I was like, oh, I play a lot of electronic, but like I can play whatever. And he's like, all right. He's like, I'll throw you on a Thursday night. The first one's on you. Do it for free. And if you're good, you hold it down, then like I'll pay you. You can hop on more.
Dude, that's the shit.
So like I pulled up. This is in like 2019, early 2019. He threw me on.
Yeah.
Held it down to the best of my ability. I feel like looking back at like that version of me as a DJ, I was still very new. So I don't know if I'd want to re-listen to any of that now. But like they liked it, and that's all that mattered.
Exactly. Honestly, it's, with all the old work, you're just like, you guys. All right, thank you. I mean, thank you. But
So then he's like,
look at me now. Like,
so then he brought me on as like the Thursday guy.
Yeah, that's sweet.
And it wasn't like super. Like I was doing like I'd do one Thursday every like 2 weeks.
And were you mind games this whole time? Like, have you been from the beginning, or where did that
to wheel it back without getting too?
I didn't want to. Yeah,
but that's.
I just thought about that.
That's a really good side story that I did want to tell. So like, wheeling it back to like. 8th grade, 9th grade, freshman year of high school, I really liked Waves. I loved that he put out that lo-fi album.
Hell yeah.
That was like totally like different and shit like that.
Yep.
He had a moniker pre-Waves called Tenderness with all the vowels taken out. It was like TNDRNSS or something like that. Or NRSS. I'll
put it on the screen, maybe, probably not.
But that was like even more low key. Like you had to dig deep on the internet to find that. And like that's like the nerdy guy I was back in the day, where I'm like finding all this shit. I'm like, oh, that's so sick. And
then like everything's in lowercase. Like there's not a capital letter.
He was actually all uppercase.
Or he was all uppercase
with Tenderness.
Yeah. You got to stand out somehow.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. And I just thought that was cool. Like to me, it was cool that like you read the word without the vowels, but you still know what it means. Like, you know what I mean? It's like you don't really think about it; just kind of clicks. It's like a cerebral thing,
I've done that in a certain email address that I will not give out.
Yeah,
but
he doesn't want anyone emailing him.
I mean, that specific email address I don't want to say, but it's like a spam and stuff, but it does that. And I was like, when I saw your name, I was like, oh, there's people doing it.
Yeah.
And I think I got it from something like that, but I don't remember origin wise.
Yeah, for sure.
But so that was in ninth grade.
This is like my freshman year of high school. This is like 2009 to 2010. And so he had that. I thought that was like the coolest thing.
Yeah.
And like I was, not to add more layers, but like I play guitar. I played in a couple bands and shit like that.
We'll have you back. I'm sure we're rounding home right now.
But no, so I was writing a lot of music and I needed a moniker, and I was like, I like the idea of Mind Games, and I was like, I'm going to take the vowels out. But then I got to like the E, it was just GMS, and it didn't look right. So I was like, I'm going to throw the E in there. And I made, in like my Instagram account, I made like early Instagram, and it's always been Mind Games. It never changed. And like
it's too good of a name.
It kind of got to the point where when I was writing on the music blog, like because it's a blog, it's personal, I was like signing off on Mind Games.
Yep.
And it's just been the moniker ever since. Like I carried it with me through video, through DJing.
Yep. It's great.
So that is that.
So it's from going back to Savoy, the first DJ set.
Yeah. So they threw me Thursdays.
Because it's like the Thursday night dance something, like Mind Games hour. Like it was like there was like a title of it. I've seen like
not back then.
At least more recently, because
more recently I made a night out of it.
Gotcha.
But no, back then I was just getting Thursdays, and I was spinning a lot of hip hop back then.
Right.
Because I kind of like also morphed into, I'm like, all right, well, I go to these bars. What do I hear? What do people want to hear?
Right. Yeah.
And around that time it was hip hop. Like you'd go anywhere, you'd always hear hip hop. So I'm like, all right, I'll adapt. If I want to be a good DJ, I got to play what people want to hear. It's playing a lot of hip hop. And so he threw me a couple Thursdays. Then it kind of got to the point where like they trusted me. He fucked with it. And I remember vividly when he threw me my first Saturday. I'm like, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's like where we got the Saturday night.
Hell yeah, dude.
Like
that's the gig.
Yeah. So he threw me a Saturday, got a couple of those, and then also, I was working at Pearl Street bartending at the time. Like, oh, you're a DJ? You DJ at Savoy? Like, we want to DJ. Why don't you DJ here?
There you go.
So then I got a residency there doing, like, they wanted to promote Sunday nights, which is a terrible idea.
I mean, everyone's going to work the next day. It's Saturday.
Dude, I tried to tell them.
You swing and you miss. Sometimes.
So, but it paid, So
hey,
I was like, all right.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, whatever.
Honestly.
So I did Sunday nights there for like a month.
Right.
And then I'm trying to think of where else I DJ'd in 2019. It wasn't a lot of places.
I was going to say, so this is all within
pre-pandemic.
Yeah, this is all within 2019.
Yeah, it wasn't really a lot. And, so just Pearl, Savoy mainly with... I'm trying to think of where else. I don't think I DJ'd anywhere else. I did the one at Thin Man, whatever.
Did you do any live stream DJ sets before?
Pre-pandemic, no.
Okay.
No. But the thing is, I liked the idea of it.
Yes.
So like this is 2019 DJing a little bit. But like I never considered myself a good DJ then.
Yeah.
I was just like, all right, I'm playing hip hop music that I don't really like. But like
I'm putting the songs next to each other, fading. Yeah.
I was still doing a little like I said, I took a break from video, but my clients that I had grandfathered in, like Crestwell and Savoy, I would do work for them occasionally. Like I told them, I was like, guys, I don't want to work this much.
You got the camera.
But like, if you need something, I got you.
Right. It's irresponsible to just like let it.
Yeah, for sure. Just totally dip out on your clients.
Yeah.
So I was like, around that time, Crespo we were shooting around the idea of live streaming a Sunday.
Right.
So I bought a capture card, and we never ended up doing it. And then that just kind of fell through. Whatever.
That's like the first scene in the movie where like they never get to it, but like the last shot is like of the capture card.
Yeah,
you're like one day,
there it is.
One day it's gonna happen.
Collecting dust.
It's gonna be there.
Lost tape.
That's so funny.
No, so dude, the capture card, and then whatever the rest of the year went by. Then COVID happened.
Yeah,
and
the world was different.
The world was different. Dun, dun, dun.
The winds of change.
No, dude. So I bartended,
Changed
and the bar I worked at got shut down, and like pretty much all my life until that point revolved around nightlife. Photographing nightlife, shooting video for nightlife, DJing, bartending.
Yep.
And I was just kind of like, well, shit. Like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
And I remember, I forgot who someone streamed that week. Like that they shut everything down, like a big, I forget who, it might have been Diplo. I think Diplo was the first live stream I saw. And I was like, damn, I was like, that's a wave. And so like the second week in March, I was like, I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So like I started a live stream and I streamed on Instagram.
The cocktail hour.
Yeah, Mind Games Cocktail. I don't think it was Cocktail Hour at that point.
Oh no, it was.
No,
I just remember really liking that name, and I was like, "Oh, that
Cocktail Hour."
That like rings.
Yeah,
like that's
dude.
good.
Yeah. So then, I did a live stream for like 3 weeks. I was doing them on like Fridays and Saturdays, and I was doing it on Instagram. I hooked up the capture card to my camera, then to my computer, and then there's a program you can download on Mac where you input your user ID for Instagram.
Yeah.
And it'll go Instagram live from like a DSLR.
Oh, and that's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was doing that.
Which, by the way, we gotta.
Dude, I'll plug you guys in on.
We'll ask you some more questions after this.
But yeah, dude, a lot of Q's and A's.
We have a live switching right now that could be Instagram Live more than likely.
Yeah.
But
but dude, it's a sick app. And because it's like you're getting, and plus I was plugging my mixer directly into the computer, so it's like you're getting live. Because I feel like a lot of DJs who stream on Instagram, like you're just hearing it through your phone mic.
You gotta,
like shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not only, so I had a good camera and a live feed going right through, audio. So it worked really well.
Yeah.
I did that for a couple weeks, and then I don't know what happened, but I was just like, like it just kind of fell by the wayside, and then.
We are very similar in how we like. This is awesome. And
then just get unmotivated real quick.
I'm done with this. What's next?
Yeah. So then we're towards the end of the story though, because I know we're coming up on time.
Yeah, we got a 5-minuter.
Yeah.
Give me another 5 minutes.
We'll fly by,
and then we'll do some music sounds on the Patreon.
Yeah, for sure.
Real quick.
So yeah, no. Then I went back to work. Everything reopened, and then
good. Thank you, world.
Yeah, thank you, world. This was in like the summer of 2020,
right?
And then everything closed again.
Yeah,
it was like, oh man, like just give you a little taste,
false hope.
Pull it right back away.
It's the worst.
So everything closed again, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna start another live stream, and this time I went full out. I bought green screens, made visuals, and that was Cocktail Hour, I did that from like October through like January, like weekly consistent. And that shit was burning me out because it's like, not only are you DJing and like finding new tracks to play, I had to like create all the visuals that I was putting up on the green screen. Keep it relevant too, because like you're having people tune in on, like I was on Twitch for that. I totally ditched Instagram at that point. You have to interact with people to keep them around.
You have to.
You know what I mean? So like I would see someone like shoot me the follow, and I would like, my computer would be right here. I'd have my decks here. And I would like hop on the line and be like, yo, shout out for the follow, and like hit like a command on the keyboard. So like a little like graphic popped up or whatever.
Just do something. Acknowledgements.
Yeah.
That's like the whole reason for the platform. Like,
yeah.
I mean, almost for some people.
For sure. But it's like a lot of work. It's a hustle. But I loved it.
And the live stress, the stress of like being live, like every action and motion and every fuck up, it's like you can't take any of that out. It's like no, it's great.
No rewinds, but
keeps it fresh.
Yeah, so I did that. That was a lot of fun, and
fun
then
and work.
Yeah,
sure.
And I even kept it going when the world reopened for like 3 weeks. But then it kind of got to the point where I was like even my friends here who would tune into it, like they stopped tuning in because like they're going out partying at a real bar.
Right. It's
and,
yeah.
You know, and I knew I wanted to run something with it. You know, I was thinking of hitting up Savoy and being like, yo, like, let me do, because I was doing it on Thursdays. I want to be like, yo, give me the Thursday spot. I want to do Cocktail Hour. Keep it real funky.
For sure.
And then we just kind of like turned it kind of did a 180. I was like, I told them I wanted a night and I wanted to do a party.
Right.
And that's how the Friday night dance party kind of came about.
There you go.
And I did that for like the past 3 months.
Yeah.
And that was a wave.
That's,
But
yeah.
That's
you
like
really
the short and sweet version.
Dude, that's And it's been great. I've had such a great time talking to you and going through your history, because we've had like back and forth throughout the months and years, and I'm just a sleepy boy, and you start your sets at 10 p.m.
Yeah,
so
man, it's late.
And like I commend you, and I like want to like ride that wave with you. Where I saw your story, like it's 7 a.m. I'm gonna go to sleep now.
Yeah, that's like, brutal,
dude. That shit is like I like aspire to that. But at the same time, in practice, I'm like, I'm out by midnight. I'm tired. I'm good. But unless I take a nap, I could take a lot of naps.
I totally get that.
I'll be nap games. You could be mind games.
There it is.
We're
lock and load.
Tag team. You've been replaced, Alex. All right.
Oh no.
I'm just kidding. But thank you again.
Yeah.
We'll definitely have you back because you moved to New York.
Yes.
From Buffalo.
Living in Brooklyn now.
Yeah. Good. Safe travels.
Thank you.
Definitely. If you want to do any sort of Zoom thing, maybe.
Dude,
I might come out to New York at some point. We're trying to get a van.
Yeah.
So when we do the Good Sounds World Tour, we'll stop by.
Out. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Come through. Come through whenever.
Thank you again. Is there anything you would like to plug for yourself, and where can people find you?
So I'm on Instagram at mndgmes, which is mndgmes. No I and no A.
Who needs them?
Yeah, who needs them? Fuck them.
Just take up space.
Yeah, Mind Games on Instagram. And I think I have I don't have a link tree, but I think I have my SoundCloud in there too. But I try and like.
For the true OGs.
Yeah, other than streaming, I tried it. I'm not super active on the internet.
Right.
But.
Which is probably for the best.
Yeah, come through to a DJ. I'll post when I DJ on there.
Yes. So. And the venues, whether that be in a random park or in a huge light room thing, because I've seen like whatever that like big stage with all the lights that like it's very red, and like you've been going to some crazy shows. So check out his Instagram.
Oh, in Brooklyn,
story wise, Brooklyn wise, dude, fucking nuts.
Brooklyn's pretty gnarly.
You know the venues.
Yeah.
But we have to end this.
Yeah, all good. Part 2 one of these days.
Yeah, part 2 is gonna happen. It's got to happen. We get along.
Yeah,
we are very similar people.
Yeah.
Good Sounds Pod on Instagram, TikTok, all the things clips wise. We got Good Sounds Pod on Patreon. If you want to check out what we're going to record really quick right after this, which is a recommendation show called The Rec Center, where we listen to music and talk about it like it's like we're in a room listening to music and talking.
Oh, yeah.
It's similar to that, if not the exact, whatever. That's it. I think that's it. Subscribe, like, all that stuff. Comment your podcast. Favorite part of this episode. Who should we have on next? What questions did I miss that you guys think would have been better? Roast me. Let me know.
Let them know.
Don't roast Sean. Sean's cool.
You can roast me too. It's
No. What's it? Give me real quick to leave. Give me your top mustached man that you could think of.
Top mustached man. That's tough, man. I honestly don't know.
Under 60 seconds.
I don't know.
Thank you again, Sean.
No doubt.
It's been great.
Yeah.
Goodbye, everybody.
Good Sounds Podcast.
Good Sounds.
Peace.
Peace.